It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
Welcome in to Irish 365, episode 20.
There we go.
If that doesn't sum up the first 19 episodes, I don't know what would. We've got the Navy preview tonight for you. So, Irish travel to East Rutherford, New Jersey. To play at
Our second out-of-state trip.
Yep. This back-to-back weeks.
Back-to-back week.
Yep. I was there third for the Irish.
Actually, third,
but back-to-back weeks. I know what you're going for there. 2 straight, I think, is what you're going for there.
Yeah.
So, they go to the home of the New York Giants and Jets in Jersey.
The New Jersey Giants and Nets, as I like to call them.
Head into old MetLife Stadium, which consistently ranks as one of the worst in the NFL, so it should be a grand old time.
Is it worse than Commander Stadium?
Okay, I think Commanders takes number 1, but it's constantly in the bottom 5, which is just ironic. It's 2 teams play there.
It's not known to be a great stadium.
Yeah, maybe 50, 60 years ago it was, right?
Well, yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. We've got travel plans. Let's get into our tickets first, though. We're sitting, 40-ish yard line?
40-ish yard line.
40 between the 40, 45-ish. Up top section.
The 300 section.
Yeah.
But we're row 1.
Row 1. So that's going to be a big difference for us. That would be super nice. We were up high last week, but not row 1. Row 1's a game changer. If you've been to these NFL stadiums, row 1 of the upper section's a very nice view. But row 20...
Yeah, because you start getting the steepness of that higher level.
Yeah.
You start getting people blocking your view.
Yeah.
It's all kinds of things. But if you're in the upper section,
yeah,
we're in the very front row.
Yeah.
So that has its perks.
Definitely.
And it's better to be, I'd rather be in the upper section row 1 than the bottom section row 1.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden the players are blocking your view of the field.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
We've had that, yeah. Especially at Notre Dame versus Navy, we've seen
that. Yes. Notre Dame. Hey, but we did see Roger Staubach.
Yep. We're on the Navy sideline. What was that, 3 years ago? 2 years ago, I guess. It was at home.
Would have been.
Because 4 years ago would have been COVID, so it had to be 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Had to be 2 years ago. We were on Navy sideline.
Would have been 3 years ago.
Oh, I guess 3 because this
3 years
was
ago.
technically a Navy. Yeah.
Yeah. You and I and Caden got a chance to go last minute.
Yeah.
And we got the gold seats or the blue seats, the preferred seats on the sideline. We were in row A.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. Yeah. But
got a selfie with Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, you did get a selfie with Kyle that day.
Yeah,
but it was difficult. Yeah. Experience wise, it's okay to do once. I wouldn't want to sit there on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and the game was great when it was going to, I believe, the north part of the stadium. It was when it was going to the south, and we had to look over the Navy bench more. So
yeah,
it was tough to see. But
that giant Navy goat and his big head was blocking the view quite a bit.
Yeah, but. I mean, a historic rivalry here we got this weekend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And do you want to get travel plans before we get into this?
Yeah, okay. So travel plans, we are flying out of Indianapolis Airport
7 a.m.?
7 a.m. We get into New Jersey at 9. It's a nonstop.
Yeah.
It's an Uber ride over to the stadium, which the game time is 12:30.
12 kick.
So, yeah, I mean, time we get off the plane, get to the gate, get an Uber or a taxi. We'll be stadium about an hour before kickoff.
Yeah.
We'll go into the stadium, enjoy the game, hopefully have a really enjoyable game.
Yeah.
And then and we fly out that night at like 6:00. So 5:00-ish, we want to be back at the airport.
Yeah. No overtime, no messing around.
It is Newark, so we might want to be back at the airport a little bit before 5 just because security lines, things of that nature.
Yeah, this is definitely our tightest schedule for flights.
Definitely.
But just because last week I had the before flight, I still had a few hours, like 4 hours of leeway. We weren't worried about a flight after, like that day. So this is definitely our tightest travel plans.
Yeah, and I think the tickets were like $70 a piece. And I think the airline tickets were like 80.
Yeah,
82, something like that. I mean,
for round trip, not
round trip. Yeah, I think we paid almost as much for the game ticket as we did the airline ticket.
Yeah.
So it made it feasible.
No hotel fee.
No hotel.
Yeah.
So we're making it work, and we could have drove. It's just a 10 and a half, 11-hour drive to New Jersey from here. But after driving to Atlanta last weekend and back, I'm glad we're not.
Yeah, especially for the $80, right?
Yeah, for $80, it is so worth it.
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting travel trip, but it also gives us, I think, a little more appreciation for what the team goes through in their travel. Now they're flying charter out of South Bend, and they have a little more leg room and what have you.
If the game goes into overtime, they're not rushing to get on the plane.
They're not worried about it. I historically am very opposed to leaving a game early.
Yeah.
And my biggest fear is this game goes into overtime.
Yeah.
And I have to do something that I really, 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 really do not like doing.
Yeah.
That's leaving a game early.
Yeah.
Even if we're up, 42-0, and there's a hour and a half delay for right.
Yeah.
Like, I will want to stick around and watch the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So
that's what the Irish 65 crew does, right?
We're dedicated. We're all in.
Yeah.
We're all in.
We pay for the ticket. We want to see the whole game.
That's right. I want to get my money's worth.
We didn't pay for 3/4 the ticket.
No, I paid for the whole game.
Yep.
So it'll be. That's my biggest concern is like you can never predict airline delays, things of that nature.
Oh yeah. Before the game,
And so that's a little nervous that there's something could happen there.
Yeah.
Even more so making me nervous is the idea that like this game could go into overtime.
Yeah.
And I did not think that was a concern or a possibility when I booked the tickets at the beginning of the season, before the season started. Now, I got to be honest.
It's a good Navy team.
So
Navy's coming in. Navy's coming in ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think you made this comment to Jordan the other day in a group text. Like, this is a tough game because we have so much to lose and so little to gain.
If anything to gain.
And you look at Navy, they have very little to lose and a whole lot to gain.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes this Navy team, that's a very good Navy team, even more dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes, I think, if you're a Notre Dame fan and you don't have a little bit of intrepidation going into this game because of that, you don't understand the history. And this is something I don't think we need to talk about a whole lot. But I love the fact that we play Navy.
Oh yeah, me too. One of my favorite games to go to.
Yeah, one is I respect the heck out of the service academies.
Yeah.
And what those kids go through and what they sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
And the sacrifices they make.
Yeah.
I can't thank them enough.
Mm-hmm.
Two, because of the history of Notre Dame and the Naval Academy and the fact that Notre Dame wouldn't be here today if the Naval Academy didn't step in and send officers there for training.
Yep.
And that's a cool story. And then when you get into it, you learn about some of the backstories where there was a gentleman of color that was sent to Notre Dame for commander training. And, this is back in World War II. Yeah. And, the Navy found out. They're like, oh, hey, we're sorry, we made a mistake. And Notre Dame's like, no, you send him here for training. We're going to train him. Yeah. And so, Notre Dame doesn't get enough credit for its work in race relations in this country. Yeah. And just people don't think of that. They think of it as a rich white kid school with, very little diversity in northern Indiana, if they even know it's in northern Indiana. Yeah. And it's like there's so much history involved with this program and this school and everything else. It's like there's just so much cool backstory. So I like the fact that we play Navy. I'm one of those, hey, let's play Navy every year until they say stop. Yeah. I mean, all-time series is like 80-13-6 or something like that. I mean,
big lead.
Yeah. We've won it more than we've lost it. It's a payday for the Naval Academy to help fund their program. It's a tip of the hat and a thank you from Notre Dame for what they did, what the Navy Academy did for Notre Dame 60 years ago. Yeah. 80 years ago now. Yeah. So there's just so much tradition and history and, usually for the Naval Academy, this is their biggest game. Yeah. Like only Army is as big a game or bigger game. Yeah. But for the kids, I think this is kind of their showcase game. I don't want to say their Super Bowl because I think that does a disservice to the Army-Navy game, which is very big. Yeah. But this is a really big deal to them.
I mean,
to play.
They play on national TV guaranteed 2 times a year. The Army game and the Notre Dame game, right? I mean, it depends how they're doing the rest of the year. They could be on national TV, but these are the 2 guaranteed. You're going to be on national TV, no matter if you're 0-6, 0-6, 0-7, you're on national TV.
Yeah, I mean, so they don't get that opportunity very often. And Navy has a hard time scheduling good opponents.
Yeah.
One, because there's no upside to beating Navy.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of downside to losing to Navy.
Yeah.
And Navy is always a good, disciplined team. They don't do anything flashy. They don't do anything crazy.
Nope.
They just out execute.
Yep. They're not going to commit penalties.
Yeah. I mean, very rarely do they commit penalties. And they come at you no matter what the score for 4 quarters.
Yep.
Like,
you're at their best shot all for every play.
And so it's hard for them to get some teams to put them on their schedule. So they don't get a lot of opportunity for revenue and things of that nature. So the Notre Dame game was always good for that.
Yeah.
Outside of Army, I don't think Navy could sell out MetLife Stadium. Like Notre Dame and Army are the only 2 chances they have.
Yeah.
And so, it's a great rivalry. And it's got its reasons. And that's why one of the things I love about it.
It's the history of college football, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's tradition. Like, that's why people love college football more than people like NFL football. Like, I know not everyone's that way, but so people that like college more than NFL because the history, the tradition. All the good stuff there.
The pomp, circumstance, the band, know. And then we talked about a little bit last week, like the Georgia Tech game didn't have that college feel. There's a definite feel difference to a college game than there is a typical pro game, except maybe Kansas City. I will say that our Kansas City experience felt a little bit more.
Which we haven't been in every NFL stadium, but that one was.
But Kansas City will we've been to a lot of Colts games. We've been to a lot of Bears games. Been to Cleveland Browns games, like Cincinnati Bengals games. Been to a lot of NFL games.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're bad atmospheres, but the college atmosphere is definitely different. And I will say Kansas City for a pro atmosphere was
pretty
better.
Solid, loud for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's interesting. I like it. I know that's not a popular take by a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's up to Notre Dame, the admin, and I'm glad that we continue to do that. And we probably will continue to do it until conference realignment forces something different. And it could. You never know when that could happen.
Exactly.
But that's a different conversation for a different podcast.
No kidding.
So let's get into this game breakdown. I'm back and forth on this.
When we were sitting Sunday on our way back to Atlanta, I was like, I didn't love it. Like, and I've been seeing the spread, 13-ish points. I'm like, dang, this Navy team, you're seeing all the social media, like they're America. Obviously, they're always America's team, but like this year, just Army and Navy are like both undefeated, both just keep rolling teams. I mean, Navy's, let me make sure I get this right. They're averaging 44.8 points per game, which is 4th in the nation.
Yes. Crazy.
Navy's the 4th top 5 scoring team in the nation.
And that's never been Navy's MO. Navy has always been ground and pound, run the triple option, and
control the clock.
And
you know what? They've only averaged 28 minutes per game of possession.
Yeah. They're scoring quick.
Right. And so this is one of Jordan's key things that he was sending to us. Navy's been very good at pinning teams deep this year and then getting stops and then getting really good field position or getting turnovers and getting the ball in very good. They're not necessarily going 80 yards in 2 minutes. But they are getting defensive stops, making teams punt, and then getting the ball at the 50 or the 40.
Yeah, I mean, a 60-yard field's much better than a 90-yard field.
Exactly. So that's what Navy's done really well this year, and they haven't turned the ball over. I didn't get the turnover stat, but it's less than 1 per game. They're not turning the ball over. They're, obviously, like we said, very disciplined team.
Yeah, and now they're not leading the nation in passing, but their pass proficiency is, 6th?
They're up there, yeah. And they're averaging 274 rushing yards per game, which is 7th in the nation.
Yeah. And I think Notre Dame is slightly ahead of them in average yards per game passing. But I think, Riley Leonard is somewhere in the mid 60s, high 60% range. And Navy's quarterback is somewhere in the 78 to 80% range.
Yeah.
So they don't throw a lot, but when they do it effectively.
And for large plays normally.
Yeah. But that's,
typical, but they've been that's a typical Navy thing, but they've been doing it much more efficiently this year.
Yeah, and Navy, regardless of who the coach is, they run the triple option.
Yep.
With a threat of pass.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It's what they've done forever. It's what they'll probably always do.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, right? You run the triple option when your line is undersized and a disadvantage.
Yep.
Because it helps tremendously. I thought early this year Notre Dame should have ran more triple option.
Yeah.
Just because we went to a younger line with some of the health injuries and stuff of that nature. And we've got the talent to do that.
Yep.
I still holding out hope that we'll run some formation of the four horsemen offense when we play Army in a few weeks. But but I thought about this a lot. Like, and I do really think that Navy, the betting line, like 70% of the bets are going for Navy to cover.
On the spread. On the spread.
Yeah. Like 70% of the bets, people think Navy will cover.
Yeah.
I don't know
DraftKings, I think it was, but yeah.
I don't know if that means 70% of the people think Navy's going to win, but they'll definitely think they're going to cover.
No, I think 90% of the money line bets were on the Irish. Yeah. But I mean, not many people are betting on the money line with what it's at, but yeah.
Yeah. And so we'll talk about the betting odds and some of that later, but I really thought about it and was like, okay, what do we expect from, like, what if I'm Navy, what am I going to do to win the game?
Yeah.
And, we talked about some, like, but if I'm Navy, I don't do anything other than what I've always done.
Yeah.
And because it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do what they do really well and they're disciplined. And I know you've heard me tell stories about when I played high school football and we ran the old power eye offense and like literally I'd be lined up and I could hear the opposing freaking coach yelling, "They're running through the 3-hole." They're like the opposing coach could call out our play. Yeah. Because we were so predictable. Yeah. But it was a playbook that we started learning when we were in 3rd grade. So by the time you're in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, you'd been running it so much and you just knew it so well that it wasn't that we were better. We just better executed. Yeah. We weren't always the biggest, weren't always the fastest, but we were always out executed. And we won a lot of football games in my high school career. Yeah. Only because we out executed. And I think that's Navy, right? Those guys just execute consistently. They just execute consistently. So one error by the opponent and they're going to get gashed for yards. I mean, all
11 guys on defense got to be turned on this week. They got to be ready to go.
They don't have to do anything flashy. They don't have to do anything trickeration. They just do what they do. And then when you suck up and you try and put 12 men in the box, and you're only allowed 11, but you try and put 12 in the box. Yep. And you try and stop the run, they throw over the top of you. Yep. And that's where they've been successful. They haven't thrown a lot, but.
And that's definitely the difference because I feel like a lot of weeks we've been saying they're going to try to hit us with some trick plays. They're going to try to hit us with a long ball shot. Like, we know what Navy's going to do. Navy knows what Navy's going to do. We know what Notre Dame knows what Navy's going to do, but they're still going to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Right?
They're just going to execute it to perfection.
And that's the beautiful part about it and the frustrating part about it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can tell you exactly what they're going to do. Yeah. Now, the question is, can Notre Dame stay disciplined? Yeah. Everybody do their assignment, stay disciplined for the entire the entire 60 minutes. Like, that's the key. If you want to beat Navy, you just have to be disciplined. Yep. Not try and do too much, not try and jump your assignment, try and jump her out.
You have to be a complete team. You can't have someone try to go be the hero on defense, right? No. Like, you got to go, like, if someone tries to be the hero and goes out of assignment, that's when we get gashed.
And see, I think this plays, so I think this plays well to Notre Dame this year. Because, one, you have to be able to put your corners on an island. Yeah. You got to be able to play man-to-man defensively against the wide receivers. I think Notre Dame can do that. Yeah. Like, if I'm Notre Dame, I'm gonna run my offense the way I normally run my offense. Yeah. The way I want to run it. I'm gonna try and be balanced with the pass and the run.
Yeah, definitely something we got a lot better with the last couple of weeks.
Because Navy's going to try and take away whatever you're good at. Yeah. And Navy can't take away everything. Mm-hmm. They don't have the size and the talent. Right. But if you're a running first team, they're going to take away the run and make you beat them passing. Yeah. If you're a passing first team, they're going to try and take away the pass and force you to beat them with the run. Yeah. But if you're balanced, I think that gives Navy fits. Yeah. And so if I'm Notre Dame, I'm going to try and do what we've done lately and be balanced. Yeah. On offense. And, nothing special, just be balanced. Yep. Defensively, I think you just got to be disciplined. Yeah. You just know your assignment, be disciplined. And last year, it wasn't a close game. The year before, it was a close game. Yeah. You go back, 2016, I think is the last time they beat us. Yeah. And, the last time we played in New Jersey, they beat us. Yeah. But I think Al Golden understands, and I think Marcus Freeman understands, defensively what you have to do. Oh, yeah. To be solid assignment. Yeah. I've got to believe that this isn't something difficult because Army runs a very similar offense. Right. So we've had to be prepared for this. And as these teams have shown to be good, but I think it'll be interesting. And I think this is this is where I get a little nervous and then like, okay, can we be disciplined? Now we've got young guys playing.
Yeah.
And, how are those? But I look at the key to stopping the triple option. And it really comes down to your linemen don't have to penetrate as much as your linemen just have to maintain the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
If they can get penetration, that's great.
Yeah.
But even better if they can just maintain the line of scrimmage. There's going to be a lot of chop blocks.
Oh, yeah.
You want them to stay healthy. You don't want them
Yeah.
getting hurt. So I don't need them like getting into the backfield 4 and 5
You're not going
yards
to see
deep.
sacks this week.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
You need to hold the line of scrimmage and then allow your linebackers to fill the
The
gaps.
gaps. Yep.
And
I agree.
I think we've got a really talented linebacker crew.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this. Kaiser, he played at Pioneer here in Indiana.
Yeah.
And they were a powerhouse single A team, which is the smallest division you can get. They won state. They moved up to 2A at one point. In Indiana, when you do really well in your class, they'll move you up.
Yep.
I mean, he was a 1A football player who won Mr. Football in Indiana, which is really impressive for a small school to get that.
Small farm school, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what positions he played?
Linebacker and running back
and fullback.
Oh, fullback. Okay.
But you know what kind of offense he ran?
Yeah, the triple option. Yeah, I do remember.
Pioneer ran the triple option to perfection.
Yep.
They would grind much bigger, more talented teams.
Yep.
Because they had an undersized line. I think Kaiser was one of the bigger players on his high school team.
Yeah.
And he was a fullback. He wasn't a lineman.
Yeah.
They had guys who would probably be receivers at other schools playing tackle.
Yeah.
But they negated that with the triple option.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going, okay, our defensive captain, our middle linebacker understands how a triple option works.
Oh, yeah.
He understands how to defend a triple option.
Yeah.
And he understands that if you don't do it well, like
what's going to happen?
You can suffer.
Yeah.
So I think the Kaiser leadership and experience is going to be huge
this week.
Like you may not see it in the plays he makes, but he will make sure that Bowen and KVA and everybody else,
Sneed
Sneed are all in the right spot. And you look at the way Bowen and KVA have been playing, we're going to be so much bigger, faster, and athletic than Navy.
Yeah.
In the key position that matters most.
Yeah.
And that's linebacker.
Yeah.
And then you look at our corners, even our freshman corners, as long as they stay sound, disciplined, and they do their assignment.
Yeah.
They stay with the receiver and they don't break on the run until they have to.
Yeah.
I think, because we're going to have the best corners the Navy passing game has seen. And
Very true.
If we can keep those guys covered, they may get some yards, but they're not going to score on us.
No.
I don't think they're going to score as much as they're used to scoring.
Right. I mean, I don't see a situation they put up 44 on us.
Yeah. I don't either.
And I've really been we try to not be biased, right? Like obviously we're biased towards the Irish. Like we think the Irish we've told you, we think the Irish, this is a schedule sets up very well for them. There's some tough games, but I was really nervous coming in Sunday and thinking about this game. And then I just all right, we should dominate this game. Navy's a good team, but Navy hasn't played anyone like us this year. And I mean, that's every year.
Their best win is Memphis.
Yeah.
And Memphis's best win is Florida State.
One win, Florida State.
Yeah. And Memphis put up 40 some points on them.
Yeah.
So the Navy's defense is suspect
at best.
And so I think our only concern is a slow start.
Yeah.
We had a slow start the last few weeks.
Oh, yeah, 100% agree.
We can't afford slow start either offensively or defensively.
And Freeman came out and basically said, we got to start fast. That's our...
Yeah.
We've been playing really good games for the most part, besides that first
series
quarter. Yeah, I mean, I'd take first half quarter, probably first 6 minutes or 7.
The first offense and second offense of series, the first and second defensive series. Those first 2 series each side of the ball.
But this is a team that if you give them an inch, they're going to go a mile. If you give Navy any confidence, Georgia Tech, we could take that confidence back. But I don't know if Navy, you're going to take that confidence back as easily as you have against other opponents.
Yeah, and I think we said this, right? On paper, this game's not even close.
Oh, no.
But the game's not played on paper. Yeah. The game's played on grass or turf.
Yeah.
And this game, I could see Notre Dame winning this game by multiple scores.
Yep.
I could see this game
being a field goal at the end.
Being a field goal or going into overtime.
Yeah.
I I could see it going either way.
Yeah.
So that's what I think makes it interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have to do anything exotic. I don't think Navy's going to do anything exotic.
Nope.
So now it's just roll your teams out there, play your game, and see whose game wins.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to kind of bring up, though, about we're playing at MetLife Stadium this week.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's had injury problems this year, right?
Also many.
What's the field that gets terrorized the most for having the most ACL and like all that good stuff?
It's MetLife.
MetLife Stadium. So and you're playing Navy, who's a physical team.
Yep.
There's always the stat of teams that don't take a bye after Navy that
they lose the following week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, we're going to play this physical Navy team. We've been having injury problems already with ACLs and all the sprains and strains and all this crap. And now we're going to play at the worst NFL stadium that like is known for like
the one that,
it's just a bad combination for me on that. So I'm like, we're talking about like a guy like Jack. I was like, gosh, please keep him healthy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know you're saying he's going to get the other guys prepared, but it's like, I mean, this is a big week for him. It's just like, I hope we stay healthy this week. That's my biggest concern.
yeah, I would say linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't want to have linebacker, cornerback are the two places we can't have. We can't afford injuries.
Yep.
I don't want anybody injured. I want everybody to stay healthy.
Right. But it's football.
But
that's unrealistic. Yeah.
But it's like, oh gosh, now we're facing a potential injury issue.
Yeah.
It's like, and defensive line is even a little nicked up and down to some young guys playing. So
yeah, they've been playing well, but Bryce Young.
Yeah, no, we're playing phenomenal, but we can't afford a whole lot of defense. And if we're going to have injuries, it's probably going to be on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah,
because I think offensively if we do what I expect, we'll be pretty proficient.
Yep,
we'll score somewhat quickly.
Yep,
and we'll force Navy into long drives.
Yeah,
and that's going to wear out. Now, if I'm Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and get up a couple scores.
Yep, make them.
And then I'm going to try and force them into playing from behind, which is not what they're designed to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to probably try and just out Navy at that point.
Yeah,
I really am. I'm going to just try and run the ball.
Yep.
Passing on occasion, slow the game down, keep the defense off the field, and just kind of grind out a
6-minute drive.
6-minute drive. And just. Let the defense stay fresh. Let them play minimal minutes.
Yep.
And Navy can't beat you if they can't score. Like that would be my approach.
Yeah.
If I were Den Brock, I would say, okay, we're going to play our normal game for the first couple series. Hopefully that gets us up a couple scores.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to grinding it out. We're just going to run.
Yep.
Jeremiah Love, Price.
Yeah.
Anais Williams.
Yep.
Everyone. You just Ford. Just be prepared to run.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want everybody running a lot, but Riley.
Yep.
Just because I don't want him getting hurt.
Yep.
So anyway,
that's in the red zone. We'll get in that later, though.
Yeah, that's a different animal.
We'll get in that later.
Yeah. So what do you think score wise?
All right. So I've been back and forth. I'm thinking close game. I'm thinking not close game. So we got to get in over under this week's 51, 52-ish is when it's been floating.
52 is what I think I saw.
Yeah. Navy's been averaging 44 points a game. We've been averaging 34.
Yeah.
Not a mathematician per se, but that seems a lot higher than 50 points combined there, huh?
Yeah.
So everything this week's pointed to an over. I think Jordan kind of said this in his text he was sending us. He was thinking everything's going towards over. It's going to be an under this week.
I completely agree.
I'm thinking 38-7 Irish.
38-7.
38-7.
Okay.
All right, this is a lot of pressure because you got it on the nose last week.
Yeah, and I won't do it this week.
Or I mean, that's tough to do once in the season, let alone back-to-back weeks. But
it's hard to get a score right.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a second too.
Yeah, we'll cover that. But I've been back and forth. Navy's going to score.
Yeah,
I am thinking somewhere in the 17 to 35 range. Okay. I think Irish 35. Navy 17 is kind of where I'm at. Definitely looking at like right about the over under.
Yeah, you're right at that line.
Like I'm right there. I really feel like Vegas knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like 17-35. And I almost went 21-24 for Navy.
So my thoughts on this is we always talk about Vegas always wins. Vegas wanted to put out a line this week that they want people to bet Navy on, right?
Yep.
Because Navy's been winning. They're playing the Irish this week. They want people to. So I think the spread probably should be a little bit higher than what it is, but Vegas knows. And they also know that Navy's been scoring and in the over. Navy's hit the over in every single game. So they put a line out that they thought was a little higher to cover themselves more on the under, too.
Yeah, but
That's my take.
No, and betting is typically emotional.
Yeah.
Like people try and do science.
Yeah.
And but end of the day, there's no way to predict.
Nope.
If anybody plays fantasy football, the first thing you know is every fantasy football league you're ever in,
Yep.
whatever app you're on, it gives you a prediction of how many points a guy's going to score.
Yep. And that person might sit out the rest of the year.
I have never seen that number be right. I've seen it be within 10, but consistently. So you can't predict performance.
No.
You can't predict what's going to happen. And so Vegas knows that. So
Yeah.
if you're Vegas and you're smart, you set the odds so that the emotions take over and you win.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what you do.
Yep.
So I could see this game being like a 24, 31 game.
Yeah.
And hitting the over.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And and not making the spread. But
if the Irish don't turn the ball over this week, it's not a close game.
no, if we're clean, the game should be.
If our special teams can't turn the ball over and our offense can't turn the ball over, like if we don't turn the ball over, this game is a 38-7. I feel confident.
Yeah.
Now, if you can go into the future and you tell me Notre Dame's got 4 turnovers, then I'm like,
I'm hoping we escape with a win if we have 4 turnovers.
I'm saying 30, 35, 38. Like I'm not telling you who wins, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's
absolutely.
so
So
that's where I'm at. We can't turn the ball over, but
we got to be clean.
Yep.
And we got to be disciplined.
Yep.
And because Navy's going to be clean and they're going to be disciplined.
Yeah.
You just got to match that. And I think we will.
Yeah, I think
so. So we talked about score predictions.
Yeah.
And it's hard to guess the score.
I mean, it's not easy.
So,
but you did it last week, so this kind of inspired us.
possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
We showed there's hope.
If an idiot like me can have
Yeah.
an opinion and guess something right,
Yep.
maybe somebody else.
Anyone can, right?
And so we should have rewarded someone.
Right. So we're going to have our Irish 365 score prediction. We got a contest, people.
What, a contest?
A contest on the Irish 365 podcast.
That is taking low budget to a new level.
I mean, do we just go from here to here?
Yes. I think
so.
we
If
did.
you're on Spotify, just know I didn't move up very much.
Yeah.
All right. So if you can correctly predict the score for this week's game,
Yeah.
you're following us on social media,
Okay.
you tag a friend.
A friend?
Yep. And you
Wait,
put the
wait.
comment. I know. Or
Yeah.
someone.
You have to have a
acquaintance.
friend?
Yeah. Acquaintance.
somebody
is
you
fine.
know.
Someone you know.
Mm.
Tag them and guess the score correctly with the winner. So the score, Notre Dame or Navy.
So
You think Navy's going to win? Put the score.
follow us on one of our socials.
Yep. Comment on the post
Comment on the post
while tagging somebody.
and tag somebody.
You
And
could,
you know what?
Yeah.
You could tag a friend.
Yeah.
This podcast might be appropriate to tag somebody you don't like.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, who knows? If you want to punish that person and
Yeah.
make them listen to this,
Hey, you want to see these 2 idiots?
yeah. I mean, go for it. We don't care.
Yeah. We understand.
Yeah.
We're here for our entertainment.
Yeah.
And if you get entertainment out of it, that's good for you too.
Yeah. And if you happen to do that, if you guess the score correctly,
What do they get? What is that? Oh no, you didn't.
a signed Sam Hartman jersey.
A signed Sam Hartman. If you're on Spotify and you're not watching the video, you're missing this beautiful white number 10 autographed Sam Hartman jersey.
Yeah. Authentic from pristine auction.
No payment required.
No. You
So-
don't have to buy nothing. Just put a score prediction down. It's free.
Follow us,
Yeah. Tag a friend.
tell a friend.
Yeah.
And post.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that easy.
I mean, it's not going to cost you anything.
And hey, you know what? If no one gets it right this week,
Yeah.
we'll just roll it over.
Hey, we got you Florida State week.
We'll just roll over.
Yeah.
Right? We'll just go till someone
Yeah.
wins.
I mean, I'm feeling good about the people out there.
I think
There's a lot of smart people out there that follow us.
yes. We are the fastest growing podcast in Europe.
Yeah.
For Notre Dame.
For Notre Dame Sports. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure of it.
Yeah.
And I think the Spotify and YouTube numbers will back
Yeah.
that up when you look at the analytics.
Now, what I haven't thought about, though, is how are we going to shoot this internationally? We'll figure that out if that happens. But we're willing.
Logistics.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Wait, we will get this jersey to you
Yeah.
if you guess correctly.
Yeah. And tag someone. And
Yeah.
they're following us.
Because I do believe we have some of the smartest fans in
Yeah.
all of Notre Dame podcasting land.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
And in the interactions I have, our fans are phenomenally engaged.
Yeah.
They understand the sport.
Yeah.
They have a varying degree of opinion,
Oh, yeah.
but they all love the Irish.
Yep.
And I think they're all. I think we found ourselves a little niche here with the dedicated diehard Irish fan who's realistic.
Yeah.
Not overly zealous one way or the other.
Right.
It's not always as great as it seems. It's not always as bad as it seems.
Oh yeah.
But so let's see what we got.
Best of luck everyone out there.
So Irish 365 Nation.
Yeah.
Let's get after it.
Let's get it done this week.
Let's see if someone can take the Sam Hartman jersey home.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming soon.
Yeah, it could be a great gift.
You can make your wife or significant other or husband or significant other very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, kids, grandkids, grandparent. Who doesn't love a Sam Hartman jersey?
Who doesn't love Sam Hartman?
That's right.
Jeez.
I'm still growing my hair out to get that look.
It's coming.
Working on it.
My beard still hasn't came in, but maybe eventually.
If nothing else, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, no kidding. And got a good-looking signature.
And he's got a good-looking signature on a nice-looking jersey.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
It could be yours. You can frame it. You can wear it. You can just show it off to the neighbors.
That's not that. And know what you can say? I won a contest to get this bad boy. I didn't pay nothing for it.
To quote one of my favorite movies, it's a major award.
Yeah, no kidding. So
it's fragile. It's Italian.
Yep. So best of luck, everyone out there. We look forward to seeing your score predictions. And yeah.
So that works on Twitter. It works
X.
It works on Facebook
and Instagram, YouTube. I mean, comment on the YouTube as long as you subscribe to us.
I think you'd even comment on the old Spotify.
Oh, you can't comment on the Spotify?
I believe you can.
Hey, if you're on the Spotify, as long as you're subscribed to us.
Yeah. So subscribe on the Spotify, the YouTube, follow us on
put that score prediction in.
Facebook, Insta, whatever
you need.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we can do. I'd love to give the jersey away.
Yeah, hey, but let's make this clear. Submission has to be in by noon on Saturday. I don't want to see none of this 2:30 crap.
Yeah.
Put your score prediction in. Saturday noon deadline.
Before kickoff. Eastern time.
Eastern Standard.
Yeah.
Sure that.
None of this specific time.
No.
It's got to be
Eastern. Come on. We got rules and regulations around
That's
here.
right. We'll get our legal department on it.
Yeah, no kidding. Caden?
Caden. Don't mess with Caden.
Don't mess with him.
So, I think that's interesting. And it ought to be fun. Yeah. So, when you get into this now, you got some ideas on parlays.
All right, let's get... Yeah, you want to get to Jordan's first?
Let's hear what Jordan's got. What's Jordan thinking parlay-wise?
So, Jordan said in his parlay this week, wasn't able to join again, but he was definitely wasn't feeling his plus 700, plus 1,000, plus all that good stuff this week.
You know what? And we got to take a stop and this question was asked, and I think it's appropriate to kind of define this.
Yeah.
Someone asked, what does it mean to be plus 500, plus 1,000, plus 2,000?
Yeah.
And it's just a really complicated way for Vegas to say, if you bet $100, you'll get your money back plus this much money.
Yeah.
So if you bet $100 and it's plus 700, you get your $100 back plus 700.
Yeah.
You had a parlay last week that was plus 2,000. So if you bet $100,
I won 2,000,
and you won it, you would have got your $100 back.
My bet was not $100 though.
Your bet was not. Yeah. So now you take that and you say, well, what's $10?
Yep.
Then your plus 2,000 really is plus 200. You bet $10, you get your $10 back plus the 200.
Yep.
If it's plus 700 and you bet 10, then you get your $10 back. But instead of getting 700, you get 70.
Yeah.
So
still a good win though. 7 times your money.
Yeah, 7 times your money, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
So
we'll get into this one.
And the higher the plus, the less likely it is to hit.
Yep. But hey. My mom was hoping I was going to be buying her a nice steak dinner last week after the game.
That's right. We were going to go someplace nice in Atlanta. We didn't even make Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I mean, no kid. So Jordan this week, he's got Notre Dame on that first half money line. He's feeling very confident in the Irish in the first half.
I like that.
He said the Irish have led every game at halftime. He's feeling pretty solid about it.
Yep.
He's got the Irish on the money line. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
And Jadarian Price to get in the end zone this week.
Ooh.
Which I haven't seen that one in a few weeks.
But I like that, though.
Plus 196 total odds is 3-leg parlay.
Okay. So, again, if Jordan were to bet $10, he would win 19. His $10 back plus 19.
Yep.
So, solid opportunity.
Solid win right there.
Yeah. That almost feels like a short-term investment. That almost feels like guaranteed money to me.
It could be. Wow.
I hate to say that about his parlay.
Yeah, Jordan, I'm sorry. You got no shot, buddy.
Jadarian Price won't score.
Jadarian Price won't play. Yeah.
Yeah. He come down with a flu. He's going to sit out there.
Or what was it? Debo Samuel with pneumonia this last week or something. Like, what? That's crazy. But all right, now let's get into the real winner out there. Jordan wasn't feeling the high odds this week, but guess who was?
You.
This guy.
All right.
All right.
What's your odds?
Plus 530.
Plus 530.
And I had a boost to get to 688.
Okay, so we got a plus 530 with a boost to 688.
Yep.
All right, give it to us. What's your
I agree with Jordan. Notre Dame on the first half money line.
Okay.
Give that to me. Notre Dame, I alt spread it. It's around 13, 13.5, 14. I've been seeing it. I like 9.5. I like 2 scores for the Irish, so I alt spreaded that final score to Notre Dame minus 9.5.
I like that.
Jeremiah Love to get in the end zone.
There's no reason to think he won't. He gets in the end zone every game.
And here's the kicker. Riley Leonard, 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Ooh, that seems like a no-brainer. Like that.
He's been doing it.
He's been doing it.
Now watch, this week he won't run at all. He's read in every single game.
He'll throw 7 touchdown passes.
He'll throw the 3 this week that I needed last week. To Chris Mitchell. Yeah, I was going to say to Chris Mitchell. He'll be throwing all over the place. But that's we've talked about this. Notre Dame's a bigger offensive line than Navy's defensive line. Yep. I think we're going to dominate this game on the ground. Like, that's my sense going into it. So I think Riley Leonard 2 on the ground. Jeremiah Love 1 on the ground. Irish first half money line and to win the game by 10 points or more.
And from a lineman standpoint, run blocking is a whole lot easier than pass blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And with the smaller, undersized Navy line that's going to come at you consistently, let those guys just tee off and start pushing them downfield. I mean, that's where that RPO gets a little, with the run pass option gets a little dangerous because you can't have your linemen just blasting off and driving guys downfield.
Yeah.
So just run the ball.
Yeah.
Get a lead and then just start running the ball, letting your linemen just
dominate.
Just let them drive.
That's kind of my sense this week.
I like that. That's what I hope to play. That's what I think.
And I almost went Jeremiah Love with the 2 touchdowns, but Jeremiah Love hasn't scored 2 touchdowns in any game this year. So that's why I'm just like, I think Riley, if anyone's going to get 2, I almost just went Riley on the 1. I didn't like the odds as much. I saw that 2, and I was like, he's been scoring 2, not every game, but a decent amount of games.
We're going to get in the red zone. And he's going to get his opportunity to run. He's going to do it.
Kind of what my thoughts are. Now, this week, last week it was like we threw down there, and then we're getting stopped, like they're tackless inside the 5 and 10, where I'm like, if we hit a long play against Navy, are they going to catch up to us with the speed? That's my only concern. Like,
if we get somebody open, we scheme somebody open.
Yeah.
Navy's going to have some speed.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, are they going to not, I don't know as much as Georgia Tech. So that was my thing. Did they came back and make the tackle like Georgia Tech was last week? I don't know.
Yeah. It's an interesting thought, but I like both parlays.
Yeah.
I think they both got a solid chance.
Yeah.
So, if someone's feeling frisky and they think they're going to feel like a 3-time winner with a Sam Hartman jersey and a couple of parlays.
I mean, that's what I'm expecting Sunday. We're going to be celebrating. Someone gets a Sam Hartman jersey and 2 parlay wins.
That feels solid. And a Notre Dame victory.
And a Notre Dame victory.
Yeah.
They got to with 2 parlay wins. So
yeah. And again, all respect to Navy. I think they're going to give us a game.
Oh yeah.
I will not be surprised if Navy finds a way to take this game into overtime.
Or nonetheless in the 4th.
Yeah. Navy will. The only thing that would shock me is if Navy blew us out.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing that would shock me.
If Navy wins this game, it will be close.
Yeah. If Navy won this close, I'd be disappointed, but not shocked.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame wins this game close, it will not shock me. If Notre Dame were to win this game by 2+ scores, would not shock me.
If Navy wins by 10 or more.
If Navy wins by 2+ scores, that will shock me.
Yeah.
Unless there's some sort of injury or something. And I can't even, I can't think of anybody that would have that injury that would make me say we still shouldn't win.
Unless, the team gets the flu and we're missing 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
It's something crazy to have to happen. And then all bets are off, right?
Yeah.
That's,
100%.
I think even the betting odds might say, okay, this is so crazy, we're just going to cancel the bets.
Yeah.
And that does happen on a rare occasion.
Yeah.
I like the Irish. I like the Irish in this one a lot. I think the midshipmen are going to give us everything we want and then some.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, the midshipmen, if they win this game, are they not in the catbird seat? Are they not like?
They're in a very good position. They're praying for a Boise State loss.
They're that group of 5 team that's looking really good because they'll have a top 15 win on their resume. Boise State won't have.
Yeah.
I think I saw this the other day. When you look at the Boise State running back compared to Jeremiah Love, other than the amount of carries, Jeremiah Love's got better stats.
Yeah.
And it's like,
next year.
Yeah.
next year.
Can we get him in the Heisman conversation? And if Boise State continues at this pace, and they don't win a Heisman, running backs are never going to win a Heisman.
Yeah.
Like if their running back can't win one this year,
Yeah,
and he
no
continues his pace,
Okay.
he's never going to. Running back, it's a quarterback award at that point.
I haven't checked Riley Leonard's odds recently. Caden will be disappointed in me, but
yeah, well, social media will let us know.
Yeah, they'll let us know if he's winning.
If he's in for it. Well, you picked him for 2 rushing, so he's probably going to be in the Heisman race after this weekend. He's gonna have 5 throwing touchdowns.
And
he's gonna be 42 for 42, perfect in the air.
I mean, he's not gonna miss a single beat. Maddie's gonna be praising him.
He's gonna have negative -3 yards rushing from taking 2 sacks.
Yeah, and taking a knee at the end of the game.
Taking a knee at the end of the game, and everything else is gonna be through the air.
Yeah, probably.
But
might catch a touchdown this week.
Yeah,
I guess that counts for me too. So.
Technically, yeah. Well, maybe hey, we saw some trickeration last week.
Maybe we'll see Riley catch one this week. Can we see Riley catch one this week?
I mean, bring in Tyler Buckner at wide receiver, and then let him toss one.
What if we go 5 QBs?
Ooh, we could do it.
Yeah,
we could go kind of a Philly extra special.
Yeah, really just throw them off. Who's going to throw all 5 just ready to go?
I hope this game is so far out of reach that Denbrock can go that deep in the playbook for fun. Like this, all right,
we don't want to show it. We don't want to show it.
We're drawing up plays in the dirt. Let's do this. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I don't want to say I'm not a little nervous.
Oh yeah,
about Irish versus Navy.
I've definitely been nervous this week, but as the week's gone on, I felt a little better.
But I don't feel any reason to be guarded this week. Like going into some past games, I've not want to be hurt.
Yeah.
I want to be guarded. And this week, I'm not feeling need to be guarded.
Yeah.
I felt a little less need to be guarded last week. This week, I feel like there's no need to be guarded.
I mean, it's easy to say this before the game, though. But if this game's close, I don't think either of us going to be like, oh, my gosh. What happened? Like, obviously, it depends how the team plays. But, like,
yeah,
I don't think if it's a close game, it won't shock either of us.
No, I'm not going to be shocked at all if Navy keeps it close. I'm not going to be shocked if Navy finds a way to win this one by 3.
Yeah.
But I fully expect we're going to win this by 2 scores.
Yep.
And I just feel confident about it. I just think I've worried about it a little bit. I've thought about it a little bit, but I'm to the point where I'm comfortable. We're going to be all right.
Yep. So.
All right. Well, hey, I think we got to just remind everybody one last time.
Yeah.
There's a contest
this week.
There's a contest.
So let's get on it, people. We got to be following us on social media or your Spotify or your YouTube. You got to put a comment down and you got to tag someone.
Comment your score.
Comment your score. Who wins? I need to see Notre Dame, blank, Navy, blank.
Not blank, but a number.
Yeah.
Whatever your prediction number is.
Our fans get
and if your predicted number is correct.
On the nose.
And
your post was before the kickoff, noon Eastern, Saturday morning.
There's a Sam Hartman jersey coming your way.
Right to your house.
Now,
that's where you want it.
What do we do if there's a tie? We've only got one Hartman jersey.
Hey, we'll figure something out.
All right. Tiebreaker rule. We're gonna draw cards. We're gonna flip a coin. We're gonna say the first one.
We'll flip a coin. We'll do some spin thing. We'll figure it out.
We'll do it on the podcast.
Yeah, on the podcast.
We'll do it live on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll come up with some way to.
But hey,
to break
let's just say this: if you see someone's if it's an Instagram and Facebook thing, whatever. But if you see someone right above you post a score, don't post the same one. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, this isn't the Price is Right. It's not the closest without going over.
No,
you got to be correct.
Yeah.
Right. So, put your thinking cap on.
Yeah.
Take your best guess.
Yeah.
Let us know what you got.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, I'm excited. I know we come out with this podcast a day later in the week than we normally do.
So
that was intentional because of the travel day on Sunday. We didn't put out the post game until Monday.
Yeah.
At this point, I have full intention to do our post game on Sunday.
Yep.
Because we're going to be traveling. It's going to be a long day Saturday.
Yeah, but we'll be back.
But we'll be back. We plan on doing the Sunday afternoon podcast.
Yep.
So this will be out, Sunday night, Monday, our post game.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be talking about who's getting this jersey.
Yeah. So enjoy the game this weekend. Enjoy your Friday. And yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.